evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. IPI versus Commonwealth Casino Commission is back in court today regarding the TRO on tax information. Also tonight, a status conference is continued in district court for a female accused of housing an illegal alien. And CHCC has new doctor on island. Find out what he specializes in. In sports, a look at the 6 sports the Pacific Mini Games has, so far anyways. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
The phone you want now on the best network and a plan that gives you endless data on chat, social, and music apps. Tell your Docomo Pacific rep you want now with access. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
Hafa Day, Tirawami, and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Tuesday, July 30th, 2019. In District Court, a motion for preliminary injunction hearing is held in the courtroom of Chief Judge Ramona Manglona in the case Imperial Pacific International versus the Commonwealth Casino Commission. Xin Yan, the president for Global Capital Market for Imperial Pacific International in Hong Kong, was the only witness called to the stand to testify today in the case Imperial Pacific International versus Commonwealth Casino Commission.
He testified all the way from Finland because of the time, the shortness of scheduling the hearing. A lot of our witnesses were off island, so this is the reason why we had to do this. But I think the testimony was good, that the court was able to accommodate the witness's schedule so that he can testify.
Pointing out that negative publications on the casino can result in negative impact on getting investors to the island.
What IPI needed to show was that when confidential information are released, that there's a harm. So we showed that harm.
And Mike Ernest, the attorney for the Commonwealth Casino Commission, says how he felt the testimony went today in court.
Speaks for itself. We're glad that he was awake at 3 o'clock in the morning in Finland, and that was pretty impressive. And beyond that, I don't have any further comment.
Although IPI filed to remand the case back to Superior Court, IPI's attorney, Viola Alapuza, says they feel either court can make the decision.
We respect both courts, and we have confidence that either court could make the decision. It is what it is. It's like I've always said in the beginning. It's not that we disagree with what the CCC is doing. It's that we feel that the law is vague. There's different ways to interpret it. There's a conflict between the Casino Gaming Act, between the Open Government Act, and the tax laws. And really, we just want clarity. We just want clarification so that we'll know how to comply with the law. It's kind of hard for us to comply with the law when we don't know what it really means.
The preliminary injunction will continue Thursday at 1 p.m. and final arguments will be given as well. In the meantime, Chief Judge Ramona Manglona is going to extract what she believes is relevant. The extension on the temporary restraining order is still until Friday, August 2nd. Reporting for KSPN, I'm Ashley McDowell. Also in district court, a pretrial conference is continued today for United States of America versus Lily Tadingo. Court documents state the U.S. is seeking authorization to produce grand jury transcripts and related material to defendant before trial, also to maintain secrecy of grand jury, and that material must stay between the defendant and counsel. Lily Tadingo and her husband Frank Tadingo are accused of housing a Chinese child illegally. Back in 2016, Lily Tadingo was found guilty of harboring an illegal alien, and her husband Frank Tadingo was also found guilty for aiding and abetting his wife. A new doctor has arrived at the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation who specializes in mental health. Dr. Justin Vandermeed is a psychiatrist that specializes in mental health, assessing both diagnosis, prevention, study, and treatment in psychological problems.
Psychiatrist, I mean, the name means soul or mind healer, and that's kind of what I look as my job being. We treat disorders of mood, things like depression, anxiety, behavior, and thought disorders where people might hear voices.
And currently, Dr. Vandermeed is the only shrink on island, coming all the way from New York.
I always like the analogies. I see my job usually when people come to me, they oftentimes, I compare them to an airplane, and they've kind of had a downhill trajectory, and by the time they see me, they're usually in a pretty rough spot. And I see my job as being the person that they kind of crash into, and my job is to kind of help them and to change their trajectory on a positive course.
Dr. Vandermeed says when he treats patients, the first question he asks is,
if they had one wish in life, what would it be? And then you'll hear a variety of answers like, I just want to be able to do the things that I normally did. I have no energy, I have no motivation. When I'm in a crowd, I get afraid. Those kind of things. And then I just kind of take time to consider their genetic background, their stressors in their life, the social stressors, their kind of thought process that contributes to their problem, and kind of help to develop a plan to, again, set their life on a different path.
Dr. Vandermeed arrived to the island just last month and says what brought him to Saipan is...
My wife brought me here. So met my wife in New York. She's Chamorro. And I loved the island before I even came here, hearing the stories from my wife. And we have 4 children. And so it was the idea for my children to get to know their own culture, being raised in this beautiful island in an environment where you can have your kids kind of roam free. Chance for me to get to know where my wife grew up and to see her culture.
If you are interested in setting up an appointment with Dr. Vandermeed, contact the Family Care Clinic at CHCC. Reporting for KSPN, I'm Ashley McDowell. The island of Pawgan felt a little rumble this morning as an earthquake hit. Around 9:18 a.m., a report of a 4.9 magnitude earthquake hit just 26 miles southeast. Currently, there are no tsunami warnings or advisories issued at this point by the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. For more information, contact the CNMI EOC State Warning Point at 237-8000. Coming up, we speak with a young professional at Career Building in the Marianas. Stay tuned.
Get the phone plan you're looking for at IT&E. Stay connected with the strongest, widest, and most reliable network in the Marianas. Stream, share, play, shop, and surf the web with super fast 4G LTE data. Whether you need just a few gigabytes of data to get by, or if you want to go further with unlimited data, there's a plan for you. You'll always get the best price. Visit any IT&E store or call us to learn more. IT&E. Explore your world.
Ah, Spain, home of the Grand McExtreme Bacon Burger from McDonald's. Fresh beef, Applewood smoked bacon, and Gouda cheese. But to get one, you'd have to get your passport, get to the airport, squeeze into the middle seat, go through customs, get into an itty-bitty taxi, say Llévame al McDonald's más cercano, and finally order one. Or get to your neighborhood McDonald's now, because for a limited time, worldwide favorites are here. Around the world is now around the corner.
Winigi PHI Pharmacy in Gofadahi, Ihilim Lomo.
Our complete line of pharmaceuticals and lowest prices ensure you get the treatment that you deserve.
Our compassionate, friendly, multilingual staff will take the time to get to know you, explain your medications to you, and answer any questions that you may have.
Ngere eyor sumaye uhalweres ren, kutsu wayor safeye emal ebalisiu klalyam weres.
Inumin ang inyong gamot ayon sa inireseta ng inyong doktor at alinsunod sa bilin ng inyong pharmaceutical.
We accept most insurance, but in case you don't have coverage, we offer cost-effective generic drugs.
PHI Pharmacy, your lifelong partner in health. PHI, the pharmacy you can trust.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. Local marketing manager Valentina Haberman sits down with our Chris Nelson and discusses work, life, and the balance between the two.
My rhythm is, I get in and I meet with my team. We have an agenda. What are the top things that we really need to do today that we want to, what are our goals? And then my job is to work with many other people who have many other goals. So I've got to identify what needs to happen right now, what's the emergency, and then I also need to communicate that to my director and say, this is what we think, what's your input? And then, we have to go back and forth. So being able to come in, have my task list at hand, being able to accept other new responsibilities and identify what needs to be handled now, what can be handled tomorrow, what do I need input on, and then how I can get to that end goal of project execution.
What would you say are the biggest challenges working in this market?
On our current market, it's been a challenge. Everything is a challenge. We've got to come up with new ideas all the time, and sometimes we get them knocked down, knock them out. Okay, no, if that's a no, okay, what about this? And so I really value the ideas of my colleagues at any position, whether they're in accounting, whether they're the manager of the store. We all have our different intakes, and so putting that together to say, okay, this is our new plan for this. Because at the end of the day, what is our goal? To make sure that we have quality service, quality products, that people come to us, that we're at the forefront of their thoughts.
What sort of career advice would you give to young people that are going away to school, getting an education, and then thinking about coming back?
Life is about trial and error, right? And then when you make those failures, you just got to get up again and try something else. So you may see opportunity, you may see a problem. Is that what it is? Maybe a problem or a concern or an area that's falling apart, but maybe it's a new opportunity for something else to grow or something else to occur. Like myself, there were a lot of changes in my personal professional life that had allowed me to come home. So looking back, that was the best thing for me. Now I've come here, I've met new people. It wasn't easy to find a job. I had to put in the work and reach out, network, go online, but I did it. I put in the time and I found a job. I found Hyatt gave me the opportunity, and then my contract was up. I was gonna leave, and I looked around again, and then this opportunity with Triple J came up. So I put in the work again, and now I'm putting in the work to stay. And so I think seeing that there's an opportunity in every problem is good, and to say, okay, you know what, that I'll try it, and just to think positive about it.
What's a good work-life balance for you? How do you balance a job like a marketing job? You could work 24 hours a day if you wanted to, 7 days a week. But how do you balance that?
So I'm a mother. I've got two little kids. So I definitely have the familial obligation. I have to make sure that they're fed and they're at school and they're cared for. So I have my checklist. At the end of the day, it's looking at my checklist. What am I going to do tomorrow? So I plan for that, and I just have to close at a certain time and say it's time for dinner. It's time to put them to bed, and be like, okay, I'm going to come back tomorrow, and I will go back and attack and check off what I've done. So it's making that conscious effort to stay on top of, this is my work, this is my time to work, these are my kids, this is what I time to have with my kids. then I also need exercise. So I have to go even if I'm tired for myself, so I can feel good for myself. So I do put in that balance. It's a, I don't know, I try. I'm still trying. At the end of the day, I'm still trying.
On Guam, there's a death investigation after a shooting over the weekend. And it's the first public safety job fair. KUAM reports.
Hafaday Sinamai, here's what's making news on Guam. A death investigation is currently underway after a shooting in the village of Jigo that occurred Sunday night. KUAM's Adriana Cotero has the latest.
It was on Sunday evening, shortly before 9 p.m., when officers from the Dededo precinct responded to a reported shooting at a home on Chalintun, Fred Cabeza, and Jigo. At the scene, a man was found unresponsive. He was transported to Guam Regional Medical City, and an hour later, he was pronounced dead, having succumbed to his injuries. According to GPD spokesperson Sergeant Paul Tapau, the investigation is ongoing and remains classified as a shooting.
I can't really disclose the scene in itself other than where we are standing. This is where, our investigators are taking this investigation to further, to develop more leads, more information that comes their way, and of course moving with this information that they gathered.
An investigation is underway by GPD's Criminal Investigation Division, with Sergeant Tapau saying he could not disclose any further information on the victim or if there are any suspects.
We spoke with a resident in the area who says they were not home at the time, but their mother and father were. The mother heard gunshots, 2 to be exact, went outside, grabbed their father who was on the back porch, came in and took shelter. According to the residents, they don't know the name of who lives in this house. However, they say they always see cars go in and out, and that this is the first time they've had an incident like this here.
The source asked to remain anonymous, stating that they want to be cooperative with the police and their investigation. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Several men and women came out over the weekend to check out the first public safety job fair. It was held at the Outrigger. Representatives from the Guam Police Department, Guam Customs and Quarantine, and the Department of Corrections, along with the Department of Administration, were on hand to accept applications and answer questions from those interested. It was last Wednesday when law enforcement and public safety officials held a press conference announcing the job fair to address the long-standing issue that's been impacting operations, a chronic shortage in personnel. Stay connected via our KUAM mobile news app, follow us on any of our social media platforms, and sign up for our weekly email newsletter, KUAM Digital Digest, on KUAM.com. Reporting for KSPN2 News, I'm Sabrina Salas Matanani.
Thank you, Sabrina, and thank you, Adriana. All right, coming up, Tinian arrives. Tinian conquers. Tinian goes home. KSPN2 Sports brings it all home next.
I'm Thelma, a certified ophthalmic assistant here at Marianas Eye Institute.
The wind, the sand, and the sun found here in the tropics can cause some unique eye problems.
Pterygia are growths on the surface of the eye. It comes from a Greek word meaning wing, and it looks like a wing growing across the surface of your cornea. The most common causes of this are living on a tropical island. The prevention of this particular problem is wearing sunglasses and lubricating the eye.
If left unchecked, pterygia will continue to grow and can permanently affect your vision. It can be treated right here on Saipan.
This has been Dr. Dennis Williams of the Marianas Eye Institute.
So what are you going to do this year? At Gold's, a dedicated fitness studio with a cushioned floor is perfect for group exercise. The cardio room features a variety of treadmills, bikes, steppers, and ellipticals. Fitness machines will help you achieve your goals, and the largest free weight area on Saipan gives you comfortable space to work out. Gold's Gym team is ready to help you get to your goals. Try harder. We know you can do it.
Buena sports fans. Buena sports fans, the Rollers Summer Basketball League is back after a summer break. Yeah, it was kind of like a vacation wrapped inside a vacation. Well, it was time to get back to work. I mean play. Front row seats still available for this Saturday morning channel battle. The Tinian Typhoons in black versus the Rollers in a U16 contest. The Rollers, fresh from training on Guam, score first. Louis de Cowboy. Leo Appetit muscles in Tinian's first bucket. Ricky Cruz, where's he going? Only he knows for sure. Cowboy, the baseline miss. Rexone, he's on the cleanup crew. Cowboy thinks he has a clear path to the basket, but Ricky Cruz rejects that idea. Cowboy, he's a shooter, so he keeps on shooting. He drives, tightly defended. Tip, no! The putback, no! The defense wins this time. Tinian comes away with a rock. The breakaway. Tinian making sure the long trip was worthwhile. Leo wanted this game bad. Real bad. So did the Rollers. They send in the cleanup crew. The rifle pass to Cowboy. No! Rexone. Oh, he can't clean up this time, so he lets Cowboy do the job. Ricky Cruz, he drives, he throws in another deuce. Tinian flies back over the channel after winning this one 57-51. KSPN2 Sports has learned the identity of the 6 sports to be included in the Pacific Minigames 2 years from now. The Pacific Games Council and the CNMI officials have agreed on a tentative plan for a greatly reduced minigames with a financial plan in place for 6 sports. This comes about after collaboration between the Pacific Games Council, who expressed a desire to reach out to the Northern Marianas for the first time, and Governor Torres, who was concerned about government cost. The most prominent sport will be athletics. Hundreds of athletes from 21 different countries participated this month in Samoa. The Oliai track and field was completely renovated and recertified following subtle and only suffered slight damage from YouTube. So, not much repair, if any, needed now. The small grandstand is all concrete. No worries there. So, the venue is ready to roll with just a minimum amount of preparation. Next door over at Palacios Field, yeah, still lots of work to be done. However, it is expected to be completed before 2021. The Games proposes bringing back baseball for only the 3rd time in its history. South Pacific countries do not play much baseball, but there are enough votes in the North Pacific to meet the minimum requirement. NMI Baseball won the gold medal in 2011 in New Caledonia. Presumably, they would be favorites on their home field, but with competition from Guam, Palau, FSM, and perhaps a surprise country from the other side of the equator. The NMI did lose to New Caledonia one time, by the way. Badminton is another low-cost sport that's proposed to be hosted. NMI badminton team entered the games for the first time. They won 1 out of their 5 matches. The format includes men's, women's, and mixed singles and doubles, with 9 nations competing this month in Samoa. Currently, the TSL gym has the only badminton court, but they can be easily constructed elsewhere. Beach volleyball, It's on the list, a natural fit for Saipan. Men's and women's teams from 17 countries played in Apia. Triathlon is another natural fit with the lagoon for swimming and good layout for bike and running. Very little needs to be done for a triathlon here. The sixth sport, golf. That's a popular sport. 21 countries represented in the Pacific Games. Now, Saipan is more than ready to go in terms of a venue with multiple courses ready to rock right now. Now, the list could change over time should resources permit. For example, tennis, the only sport the NMI medaled in Samoa, is currently not on that list. However, with some enhancements to the courts at American Memorial Park, supplemented by hotel tennis courts, plus some travel for ITF officials, and it could be accommodated in a tournament. Tennis is listed by the Pacific Games Council, by the way, as one of these so-called core sports. Men and women from 15 countries competed in tennis over 10 games. Another example would seem to be Va'a. Outrigger canoe paddling is a sport especially suited for the Pacific and Saipan. Va'a. 18 countries had male and female paddlers in Samoa, and the Saipan Lagoon is the ideal venue, but as of now, it's not on that list.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Hey, go-karters, come early and stay late. We have new summer hours for the Seaside Circuit at Mariana Resort. Daytime is pretty hot, but evenings are pretty cool and perfect for racing. Check in at Mariana's Trekking and you'll be off racing in no time. Bring your fans, bring your friends, and show your ID for a special half-a-day rate after 5 o'clock. And check out our other adventures too, like mountain biking, hiking, kayaking, and off-roading. Perfect for groups, perfect for families, perfect for friends. So go ahead, bring your best friend. Mariana's Trekking, your adventure professional for 17 years.
Today's high temperature was 88. Nice try, Ashley. Very close. We'll give it to you. It was 87, and the low was 79. A little bit of off an hour rain here. Our forecast for tomorrow, by the way, partly cloudy, actually mostly cloudy. Let's be honest. Isolated showers, possible thunderstorms, east winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Seas are calm out there, 2 to 4 feet. Sunrise tomorrow at 5:58 and sunset at 6:47.
47. Okay,
6:47.
So it's going to be 6:49.
Well,
Couple
that's a good
minutes
guess.
less.
Pretty
Yeah,
close.
Pretty close. I would
If
say.
your watch is wrong, it would be 6:49.
Yeah, true. Sometimes
my
people
clock
set
is
it
wrong a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, forward or back.
In the car, goes too fast, goes too slow.
Absolutely. But how about these earthquakes? We've seen a
I
lot
don't know
lately.
I don't have any statistics on it, but it just seems like in the last couple of weeks we've had a lot of 4-point-something earthquakes.
Yeah.
That's not going to cause any damage. You're not going to feel it's not going to knock you out of your bed or anything like that. But we keep waiting for the big one, big one. You know, like California. You know, they're waiting for the big one. But we've had a lot of 4-point-something in the past couple of weeks. I don't know if it's a sign. Probably not a sign of something to come. But
I hope not.
It's just adjusting, you know, the tectonic plates.
Yeah. So yeah, what exactly causes an earthquake?
Oh, the shifting of the
shifts?
tectonic plates.
Okay,
Yeah,
and that.
Yeah, the Philippine plate's pushing into the Pacific plate, and so it pushes up. Just a little adjustment. And
I'm gonna say I'm glad that it's a light earthquake and no one's really feeling it.
No.
So no one's getting hurt and nothing crazy is going on.
I've never had a report
Thank
of damage
goodness.
from an earthquake here.
That's good. That's good.
They had on Guam though.
Let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah, Guam's had some problems, but we're overdue.
All right. Yeah. I don't know about that.
Is that wood? No.
All right. Thank you, Bob, and thank you guys for watching. Please do have a great rest of your night. Tune in tomorrow night at 6.
Good night.